Hi guys, welcome to episode 35 of Tiger Heart Chats. I'm so happy because this episode's in partnership with ISE again, Integrated Systems Europe in Barcelona. If you guys are here, you've seen just how big ISE has become. Officially, I've heard that it's now bigger than Mobile World Congress, which makes it the largest electronics consumer fair in Europe. It's incredible. And also Barcelona is amazing, you know, being here in February. I've got an amazing guest. This is someone that I've wanted to get on the show for a long time. I've been talking to her boss for a long time, wonderful chap. And we've been kind of, I guess crossing paths, but not actually meeting each other. And today is the first day I've met this wonderful person. She is, I guess, the marketing director for a wonderful artist based in Barcelona called Solimán López. Please welcome to the stage the wonderful Natalia Yaskevich. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Thank you so much for the introduction.
No worries. How are you doing?
Well, yeah. This is welcome to our sunny Barcelona. Welcome to this amazing event. Mm-hmm. And I'm so excited as well to be here. And this event, there is so much innovations, colors, technology. So I feel wonderful.
Awesome. Well, I'm really, really happy to have you here. We're going to talk about you. There's going to be people that are listening to this. Some people know Solimán. Mm-hmm. Some people may know you. But just give us a bit of background with regards to who you are and, what you do.
So originally I'm from Belarus, this country in Eastern Europe, if you ever heard about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's between Eastern and Western Europe. It's important to mention because my first serious main job was opening the bridges in educational international system between Eastern and Western Europe.
Wow.
Because in Eastern Europe, we didn't have opportunity like different scholarship, like, I decided finishing my master, do a scholarship in University of Munich, Amsterdam, or wherever. No, but we had other opportunities that been developed by European Union that I was working on. So with different foundation, organizations, universities, that was my job. I was one of the main coordinators that been creating and applying those projects and mixing international students and young generation between East and Western Europe. So it was amazing. You know what I mean? When I saw people going abroad, developing their own projects or studying there and coming back, it's like your life changes. So and you see the value of that.
When did that start?
So I started to become in those international projects in 2000. Oh, those after oh my gosh, how many years ago? 2005, I think.
Wow, okay.
Or 6.
So this is your...
Yeah. So I've done by myself.
Yep.
There is exchange in Canterbury, UK.
Yep.
And I saw all those opportunities in a different life, different world. I came back to Belarus saying like, this is crazy. That's what we are missing. That's what we're going to do.
Yep.
And I found an organization that been working on those type of projects. I applied myself and very quickly I became like this valuable person.
So talk to us about those projects. What were those projects, the initial ones?
Yeah, the field was different. They could be cultural, they could be about environment, they could be about sport, religion.
So anything, basically.
Anything.
Wow.
Yeah, the most important was that there should be different countries involved.
Yep.
And that's it. We don't touch any political issues because, it's always more complicated and Belarus is still in that hard moment.
Okay.
But anything else, yeah. So, and when foreigners also coming to visit Belarus for sort of projects or conferences or events, they also saw like, wow, there is a world. There are no beers are like running on the street. There is lights, everything. You know what I mean? Not only going Belarusians abroad, using the opportunities and learning and seeing all of the...
So talk to us about that. What brought you into mixed media art? Because that's what you're a practitioner in that, working with Solimán. So what brought you into that world?
Well, that's a hard question. I guess all my personality and since I was a child, I heard a lot like, she's a little bit different. She's a bit bigger. She's gonna live abroad. So since I remember myself, like I was 5 or 6, I heard this a lot. Oh, this is like, this girl is Belarus is too small for her. She always like searching for something. She's so enthusiastic, so curious.
Interesting.
So once been developing those projects, I had been, I supposed to move and live in Rome, because at that time I was engaged to Italian, but by some reasons, by destiny, it didn't happen. I give up. And one night, I remember that was Friday night, one of my friends, she sent me the link saying like, Natalia, there is a cool, interesting project in Barcelona. You need to go. That's your thing. And I was like, what am I talking about? It's like 200 people already applied on that.
Right.
And she's like, oh, do it. You're amazing. I'm going to choose you. I was like, oh, right. Why not? The Italy is over. The Italian boyfriends passed away. Sorry, in a nice way. I do it. And I did apply, like just naturally, without those crazy preparation, writing by nights, briefly. And like, I already forgot about it. And then like in 2 months or something, I got in the mail saying, oh, Natalia, you passed the first level. We selected you from 200 something people.
And what was the project? Was that the Solimán López project?
No.
Okay.
That was also related at that time with my educational projects.
Yep.
So that was a project to work in the office of COCAT organization in Barcelona. That's how I came here.
Right.
Like 1 year kind of, how do you say, exchange?
Like an exchange,
yeah. I came here without speaking any Spanish. English was enough.
And what year was that?
2013.
2013. And what was that like as a...
It was 1st of February 2013. I came to Barcelona. I was like, what is it? I'm like, what's going on? What is this city? Who are those people? The spirit, the sun, the sea, this freedom, this diversity. Wow. So I fall in love.
Yeah, I mean,
and it was Barcelona.
Those of you who haven't been to Barcelona, it's a very creative city.
It is.
It's obviously you've got the Gaudi installations. People here in the street are very kind of expressive and creative. It's wonderful here. So the reason why I asked that is because obviously I'm assuming you didn't speak English or Spanish back then when you came here. What language?
No, I did speak English. I used for my international job. I was working.
Right.
I speak English.
So you could
but I didn't speak any Spanish. No. My exchange was in English, and by being a coordinator for international projects, I used to speak English, and I travel a lot as well, presenting Belarus and opportunities around the world.
And what language does Belarus speak? Is it Russian?
Originally, officially, it is Russian.
Right.
In Belarusian, we have both, but there is tiny percentage of people that speak Belarusian.
And is Belarusian very different to Russian?
It is different. It's more similar with Polish and Ukrainian, actually.
Interesting.
Yeah. If I speak so quickly to my Russian friends, they won't understand half of what I'm talking about.
Wow.
If I want to be Nazi.
So you came to Barcelona. You were kind of enthralled by the city. You now live here.
Yeah, this environment, by those colors, the smells, the opportunities. Everyone is accepted here. It's super diverse. There's nobody is judging for you. You can develop and be whoever you feel be.
And so this exchange that you were doing, was it within the mixed media art space?
No, that was with education projects.
Interesting.
And related to environment.
Okay.
Yeah, related to environment. By working with those educational projects, I learned a lot and observed a lot. And I always been very touched to the nature, innovation. They call me a kind of artsy by myself. So it's all kind of mix. And then after I decided to stay and stay in Barcelona. So I literally changed my life after 1 year of that exchange. Right. I give up everything, like my organization, my apartment, my previous life in Belarus. At that time, it was super cool, actually. There were many international companies in Belarus. It was developing and etc. But still, I felt like Barcelona is my home, is a place when I want to live.
Yeah.
So then I applied to the Master of Sociology and Innovations.
Yep.
By receiving also a scholarship grant that wasn't super common. But I guess all my activities and work for Belarusian citizenship, they helped me to achieve that grant.
Yep.
So I learned a lot about, social changes, economy, impacts, transformations, lots of things in sociology, and was an amazing experience.
Awesome. So how did that transition you into working with Solimán?
Well, let's call it a destiny or something, because we met at the conference related with biotechnology and new media art by well, I love doing comments, and I'm super honest and sensitive person. So by standing next to, I didn't know that is his NFT, I made a comment saying like, well, there's they are nice pieces, but I'm kind of disappointed. But this one, I would say, is my favorite.
Okay.
And he said, "Oh, thank you so much. So that's mine work." And that's how we met.
So there's two things we just want to kind of elaborate on, just with regards to the people that are listening.
Yeah.
Tell us, firstly, tell us about Solimán López. Who is he?
Well, first of all, he's an amazing human. And he's one of those people that merging art, technology, and science. He's conceptual. We call those people new media artists. He's pioneering in this field. He works in new media art already for 23 years, 24. One day he actually was studying history of art, like normal art, classic art. He asked himself, well, why do we need to transfer pieces of art by planes and doing logistics and printing or painting them if there is a technology that can make our life easier? And that's how he became interested in them and doing different performances. That's it.
Awesome. So he's a new mixed media artist. Who works with lots of different technologies. Tell us about, and also there's some people that might not know what an NFT is. Tell us about what your perspective on what an NFT is.
Wow, it's interesting because after the COVID, when we started to have lots of digital artists that only became famous by NFTs. But I would like people to understand that digital art, it's not only NFTs.
Yeah.
It's a way that help us to, to transfer a piece of art and save it and present it. But for me, digital artists are people like Solimán. They do their own investigation. They work taking care of environment using this amazing technology that we have right now in a partnership with sound system and other opportunities. We need to present our art. It could be a printed art piece. It could be presented visually on the screen, or the various types. Could be NFT as well.
Right. So you met him when he was showcasing one of his NFTs. So how long have you guys been working together?
It's been, I think, about 3 years.
3 years.
Now. Yeah. We start. So I helped him to manage, to coordinate some moments in Art Dubai.
Yeah.
And the way I work, it's kind of very sophisticated. I'm quick. If, I know all details, I'm very sharp, and that he likes it as well, because that's why we married, I think. We're both responsible. And also at the same time, for me, it's important, as I'm sensitive, to feel the person. So he's honest, he's very passionate about what he's doing, so is me. And we find out, well, maybe we should work together, because he was missing at that time. He's an artist, but a lot of artists, they are missing someone who is gonna coordinate, manage, and sell them. produce ultimately. And find other opportunities to be presented to the world. Because nowadays as well, that's the way I develop a big field of him to be presented in conferences, in universities, not only like art fair and the museums and the galleries.
So what is your function within the Solimán López brand now?
Yeah, so knowing what he is doing, what he's capable of what he can offer, I say, look, this is a conference where we're going to be. You're going to be a speaker. You're going to tell what you're doing. This is the university we can do collaboration with. This is gallery we're going to sell with. So I'm the one who is finding us there.
Managing that, producing that, and also finding the stimulus for it.
And also I really love coordinating. I love, being in a team. So as well, there are moments like I do coordinate a lot between the main actors of the big event, merging different ways of logistic, presentation, etc., etc.
Awesome. So, you've been working with him for a while now, and I understand the function. And it's quite interesting thing that you focused on there, because there are, as you say, there are a lot of artists, all forms of artists, whether it's visual or music or whatever, who are great talents, but they need that kind of connection. And I think all delivery, it's all about the team. You have to have a really strong team. So I get that. What advice would you give someone who is an artist that's listening, for them with regards to collaboration? What should they look for?
I do wish them to find that, let's say, right hand that first of all will do understand what they're doing, what they're capable of. The person that would respect them as well. Business developer, whatever you call that person, that will help the world to find out about what this artist is doing. Because artists, they are amazing, they are creative, they are sensitive. But the time and the energy they're going to spend on thinking how and whom and doing emailing and phone calls and logistics, they better spend on the art.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They need it.
Yeah.
They need it. And it will help them a lot and make them life easier.
Was that relationship, does that relationship have any challenges at the moment?
My relationship with
Solimán, like as a working relationship.
Wow, we have very amazing synergy.
Okay.
And there are days like you, a friend. You mentioned he's my boss, but he's not really. We never called. He's never my boss. We're we're a team, right? And we have various people in our studio, so we're the team. I would say that. And there are days I can be his psychologist, the friend, the sister. You know what I mean? Even the boss. So it's very
human,
exactly. And I called a lot of my friends and people with whom I work. They know the person whom I called superhuman is Solimán.
Awesome. So you've been working with him for a while. I've seen a lot of his the things that he does. There's a lot of different ways for him to express himself, which is brilliant. Let's talk about digital art. So how do you, as a partner within the Solimán López brand, how do you work on a production? What is that? How do you design that? How do you develop that? How do you deploy that? Talk to us about that.
Production?
Yeah, when you're working on a project together, where does it start?
So first of all, it can start from his idea. It depends. It can start from his own idea. He needs to be interested in something. Let's say recently the project he's done in Ecuador, and the closest to the sun point on Earth, he went by himself with a team of biologists and other people and pick up the oldest bacteria on Earth, because he's thinking that there is a technology that can help to solve the problem of the space trash we have, and it's falling and it's dangerous and it's flying there. So it starts from his idea. But there are projects like, for example, the last one we came after in Abu Dhabi. We saw the opportunity and the missing point that we can develop, mixing art, science, and technology. So we saw there is going to be an event, and if we suggest them something, so it depends. It's like we're analyzing what can fit, what will work, what we can offer, or a company or museum can order the project. It's up to it. It's always relative.
And just with regards to those briefs, my assumption is you're constantly kind of pitching ideas.
As well. Yeah. I'm explaining what he's doing, what we can offer, what is missing, like which technology can solve the problems and etc., etc. Because we work with, biotechnology. And what is Solimán working recently for the last, actually, say 10 years, it's how we can save the data, how we can preserve it for the future of the humanity.
Why is that? What's the kind of drive for that question?
Yeah, well, first of all, global warming, environmental problems.
Yeah.
So, and also we are foreigners here on this planet.
Yeah.
And it doesn't belong to us. But still we are producing lots of data and information that could be useful for the future, someone who, is going to be after us, humans or no, we don't know. So, yeah, he would like to save that information for the future of the generation.
Amazing.
Yeah, because ice are melting, and the air became more polluted, and etc., etc. Also, the data we save in internet is not safe.
Yeah.
Being an artist himself, one day he was thinking, wait, I uploading all my digital artwork in iCloud or Dropbox, etc., but doesn't belong to him. You know what I mean? One day it can disappear or something goes wrong. That's how he developed the Museum of Digital Art, hard disk museum. That's where it's in a hard drive, tiny capsule. He DNA'd everything, every piece, and there are 150 artists already. So it can travel, in a little case, and you can install it in the one day by using screens. So you print the object, it depends, but it's safe, it's there forever, and just, travel with you anywhere.
Awesome.
Can you imagine that?
So just with regards to the projects that you're working on at the moment, and also ISC, because you're here, what have you walked around any of the halls or anything? Have you seen any of the technology that's happening at the moment?
Yeah.
What's exciting you about ISC? What have you seen at ISC that's kind of making you?
Well, every year, thank you for the question. Every year, we have more and more develop on the way we can present digitally things, especially screens.
Yeah.
I was more interested in screens.
Yeah.
The technology, and last year was super mesmerized. Super, wow, what is it? It's cool, it's crazy, and I found some partnerships as well.
Yeah.
Because also I mentioned it to my friend who is presenting here his company. I was like, wait, honey, what is wrong with you? Why are you all putting this artificial fish or some weird pictures? If there's so many artists, us and a part of that we can give you the real contact from our investigations, from our art projects, etc., etc. He's like, right, I never thought about it. Natalia, you're right. So maybe next year, I hope, we can, on those amazing screens, we can present our art pieces, it can be free gallery. So it's win-win. You know what I mean?
So,
because there are lots of screens and lots of technology, but the content is missing.
Yes.
I was even...
No, absolutely. And even from a commercial perspective, there's lots of businesses that want this technology, but they don't have a content plan.
No, and they put in this funny fish on the screen. It's fine. I'm like, guys, I saw this fish 10 years ago. Come on.
Awesome. So that's great. Thanks so much for your input with regards to, where you've come from and where you were at and how you're working with Solimán. Let's talk a little bit about where you're from. We'll talk about Belarus. I'm assuming because you've been here for a long time. You've been in Barcelona for a long time.
11 years ago I moved here.
And do you still go back to Belarus?
Not much.
Okay. And
not much. And unfortunately, after the previous elections, lots of Belarusians, creative and most important, they moved away. And also taking into consideration we are super famous with tech and engineering.
Yeah.
Lots of us living and opening the biggest startup in San Francisco or in Europe. We're amazing medics, physicians, etc., etc. So lots of most of my friends are living around Belarus, living around the world.
What happened? And part of my ignorance, but I know there's people that are listening. Just what happened in Belarus to kind of cause that exodus?
Well, we were super disappointed when our president, who's president for almost 30 years old, elected himself again.
Right.
So, this change is not possible. It was hard, and the doors were kind of closed.
So as an artist there, is it quite hard
Yeah, it is quite hard because, like, we know art is very valuable. Art can talk about problems or solutions or ideas.
Or it can be therapeutic.
Exactly.
Enlighten you.
Yeah, and it's kind of prohibited, I would say.
Wow.
Yeah.
And when you say prohibited, like legally, or is it just stifled financially?
No, in the way of it can harm artists in Belarus because the political systems controlled everything.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
In this context, yeah. So.
And does that make you feel sad?
Well, obviously, of course. Because I wish my country also be famous and perspective, and the citizens be free, free of expressions, and
Sorry, maybe I rephrased that question wrong. Like, how do you feel about it?
Well, you get used to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just accept how is it. Try to change, try to do something, but then just accept it, I guess. I mean, if you're politically not involved in any of the aspects of life, you live well. I mean, some of my friends still there, some of my parents are there, they have normal life, you know what I mean? But if you would like to, step out of and talk loud about problems, that's problematic,
Yeah. I think there's a lot of countries that have that issue, and it is, within the AV space, it's good to talk about it because, even though these fantastic things allow us to be expressive and creative, sometimes it's hard to fully be that. So I really value, I'm sure people listening will value that as well. So thank you so much for that. So with regards to you being in Barcelona working with Solimán, what's next at the moment? What are you working on that you're allowed to talk about?
I can tell briefly that we're developing one of the first project merging art and quantum in the environment.
Wow.
Yeah, can't tell you like many details, but it will merge art, quantum, and environment.
So there are some people that don't understand quantum. Give us a rough idea of your perspective on quantum.
Well, it's everywhere. It's a big part of our life, and it's life-changing. So I'm still trying to understand how far it's going to go. But you recently also, like the last year, we heard quantum everywhere. And also we developed in the collaboration with the Quantum University in Barcelona. This quantum computing, this supercomputing, those machines, I mean, they are very important part of societies.
What's the opportunity with quantum?
Well, I guess it can solve lots of problems, related most of every field of our lives. I hope so.
Wow.
It sounds very promising. I'm kind of observing and also learning what is it. And
I've read a little bit about like quantum physics, and I find it amazing.
So it's like everywhere. Like meeting you and me, it's really quantum, quantum physics.
What's the aim? So obviously there's an expressive aim, but what do you wish to learn from that project?
Well, I would like to learn how quantum will solve the problem of us, like humans, or gives a direction. Because, as I mentioned before, the Earth doesn't belong to us, and they've been changing, evolutionary, So I'm very curious and would like to know who we will become in the future, how our bodies physically will evolutionize. So that's a little bit about that project.
Awesome.
Maybe we became frogs, I don't know.
Well, like it sounds like the possibilities are endless. It's just figuring out where the utility is, where the value is. Just like, what everyone's talking about AI at the moment at ISC, and it's a big part of it. Actually, good question. What's your perspective on AI within the creative space?
Well, it is amazing if you use it in the right way. That's it, I think. It's a super tool that can help in many fields of our lives if we're going to use it in the right way.
And how do you use it on a day-to-day basis?
Me particularly, not much, in some tiny moments and bits, but I do use it. I use chat and I use some other applications. Solimán uses with art, gives us some sketches and images. He's been using it for many years. You know what I mean? It's interesting because everybody talks about it recently, but there are so many people been using it for decades.
Yeah, I mean,
it's interesting.
Some of the things that people are raving about now have been around since the 90s, but that's cool. That's cool.
I should start using it better, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I use it. I would say I use it a lot, but like you,
I'm kind of old school, but we should.
But it's a tool, isn't it?
It's a tool.
It's not a savior, which is
it's a tool.
And you have to ask the right questions, don't you?
Oh, exactly. Otherwise, you'll get wrong answers.
Yeah, or just a generic answer.
Yeah, boring answer.
Natalia, thank you so much for this. I really appreciate it. This has been really good. We're coming towards the end, but we're not finished just yet. I guess my next question to you is, you're a producer within the mixed media art space. You're working with a very prominent up and coming artist. You're doing some very, you're doing things that are quite burgeoning within the art scene, which is exciting and fun. What advice would you have given yourself before you came into this industry, if you met a younger version of yourself as they were just coming into it?
Maybe. So, amazing question, huh? You caught me. The most important in this field, because we are merging fields, are connections, and I'm quite good at that.
When you say connections, you mean?
Connections with the humans,
right?
With the people. Since forever, I think it's more people in different industries. Is easier to achieve something,
right?
And it's. I mean, it's just like what I mean, right? You send the email to someone and it's easier to get the meeting, or it's easier to present your art piece, or it's easier to do anything. So that's the advice I'll give to myself. Collaborate. I mean, even more. And also I have, so now I know the answer. I should talk more about what I'm doing, because when I'm meeting people, I mostly talk about the way I see the world, the life, my personal, feelings.
Yeah.
And they are even lots of friends, they keep saying wow, Natalia, you're working and you're developing so amazing, insane, crazy things, but you not always giving us the details.
Yeah.
So you are missing the opportunity of, those partners or collaborators or, even.
So be more open about your...
Yeah, don't be let's say, shine what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I need more strength, right? I think it's more personal because, you mentioned, I'm from Belarus. In my country, it wasn't common. And the way I was raised, it's just you're normal, UK, and whatever you're doing, it's average, it's nothing. So I'm trying to learn and evaluate myself better.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing to validate. You're amazing at what you do, and you guys do. Yeah, I totally. I can understand that. Being when I was very young, being a young person of color in my community, you were kind of expected to be a certain way. And I feel like all of us, particularly in this creative space, have moments in our lives when we're expected to be. But I totally agree with you. Be more vocal about what you bring to the table.
Yeah, exactly. Because the thing that I'm already honest, I would also call myself a normal, nice human. It's there. So just this part that is a little bit missing, I'm working out on that.
Awesome. Well, I hope this session kind of opened that up a bit.
I'm ready, like on the internet, YouTube. Oh my gosh, you're gonna make me even more famous.
There's going to be people that are listening to this or watching this, if you're watching it on YouTube, who will want to get in contact with you. What's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
They can find me on our Solimán López studio webpage.
Yeah.
In the team part.
Yeah.
So there is my email or Instagram.
And what's the website address? Solimán López?
Yeah, just Solimán López studio.
Okay.
Yeah, just put Solimán López and there is only one.
Okay.
Digital media artist.
Awesome.
Yeah. And there are many articles and he was an amazing speaker, the way he explained what he's doing. It's super clean, simple, very informative. So yeah.
And you were about, sorry, I really interrupted you. Is there any other way that people can contact with you as well?
Yeah, they can find me on Instagram.
Okay. And it's just your name?
My name, but my Instagram name is different.
Okay.
It is Snail Shadow.
Snail Shadow.
Yeah, I'm in the shadow, you see? That's what I was talking just about. I'm always in the shadow.
Shadows is where exciting things happen.
There is my name on Instagram.
Awesome.
And I'm super open and friendly, and I love meeting new people and sharing what I know, what I don't know. And I really do love Barcelona. And please, anytime you're here, let me know.
Yeah.
I will show you my favorite secret places.
Barcelona is one of my favorite cities. Natalia, thank you so much. Really appreciate you. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Guys, those of you listening, just make sure you're sharing this on social media. The hashtag is Tiger Heart Chats, all one word. Make sure you're getting it out to people. We're still looking for more guests. This is a special one because we're at ISC. ISC have commissioned this one. Want to thank the team at ISC, particularly Cecile, for organising this. Also want to thank Black Magic as well, who are one of the sponsors on this podcast as well. Again, Tiger Heart Chats, all one word. Hashtag. Make sure you're sharing that. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, please be good.